in one hand, I was reading the writing of women from the turn of the 20th century, women of color, queer women, women who were really striving to make their mark on the world, but coming up against inequities, many of which are very familiar to women today. And in fact, they were really familiar to me. At the time, I was holding my infant daughter and thinking, gosh, like the challenges that women faced 130 years ago, they really haven't changed all that much. Like, sure, in some ways we've advanced, but in a lot of ways, we're saying the same thing. We're fighting the same fight. And I looked at my kid and I thought, like, gosh, this can't be her story too. And that kind of propelled me to look around, especially into the world of work, because to that point, I'd only ever been kind of a public sector employee in the education and academic setting. And I was looking for, well, where are the advancements we're making? What are we trying to do out there in the world of work to make things more equitable, not just for women, but for all people who have historically held less power and less systemic advantage? And what I found was there's not a whole lot of innovation in that space. In fact, a lot of what goes on in corporate America and North America look like slight tweaks on interventions that were designed as risk mitigation efforts, like basically like covering the butts of corporate America from back in the 70s, 60s, 80s, the civil rights movement, women's rights movement, gay rights movement, and so on. We see kind of unconscious bias training shined up with new tech and AR, and we see cultural sensitivity training with more interesting content. But by and large, the interventions take the same model. And that is the idea that I'm going to take a person's mindset, their worldview, I'm going to give them some information, enlighten them, and hope for new behavior. And that just hasn't been shown to work. And that's what I found when I started doing research into the types of interventions that we use in the world.